Yes, good morning to all of you. Myself, Mahesh Jagdish Pingle, lecturer, Electronics Engineering, Government Polytechnic, Ambad. So, dear students, today we are going to discuss a new tube. That tube it is called as the magnetron tube. In this particular tube, the electric field and magnetic field it is perpendicular to each other. So, this particular magnetron it is also called as the cross field type of tube. So, in which electric field and magnetic fields are perpendicular to each other. Now, you are observing a diagram of cross section of a magnetron tube. So, in this particular cross section, you are observing thick cylindrical cathode at the center and coaxial cylindrical blocks of copper as a anode. So, this center part it is called as the cathode, and whatever the cavities we are observing surrounded to this particular cathode, these are nothing but the anode cavities which acts as a anode. So center part it is called as the cathode, and the cavities surrounding this particular cathode are called as the anode cavities, or itself acts as a anode. Now whatever the space we are observing between anode and cathode, this space it is called as the interaction space. Now there are some gaps provided with which is connected to this particular interaction space. So anode cavity is connected to the interaction space with the help of some gaps. So you are observing the gaps here, right? Now this particular interaction space it is very much important in terms of the magnetron operation. So whatever the whole operation of the magnetron it is done within this particular interaction type of space. Now while talking about the cross field device, as electric field between anode and cathode is radial, whereas the magnetic field produced by permanent magnet is axial. So we can say that electric field is present along the radius, so it is radial, and magnetic field it is present on the axis, so it is at the center of axis. So we say that if we observe, if the radial is electric field and axial is the magnetic field, both these electric and magnetic field are perpendicular to each other, right? Now the permanent magnet is placed such that the magnetic lines are parallel to the vertical cathode and perpendicular to the electric field between anode and cathode. Now let us have the look over actual diagram or construction details of cavity magnetron. So this is nothing but the construction details of cavity magnetron or general magnetron. Here you are observing cathode at the center. All these are nothing but the anode cavities. So this is nothing but the interaction space. Now here we are taking the output which is connected to the coaxial line output. Now the copper anode block with potential V0 here you are observing. So these are nothing but the anode cavities. So cathode interaction space. Now it is surrounded with the help of some magnetic field. So the magnetic field is shown here. Now this is nothing but the front view of the magnetron. So if cut off section of front view. Now if we observe the side view of the magnetron, here you are observing the actual magnetic field. So the magnetic field shown here, it is surrounded with the help of this particular magnetron tube, but in actual the north pole and south pole, and this is nothing but whatever the structure you are observing here, right? So we can say that the magnetic field, so whatever the magnetic lines of force from north to south, these are propagating along with the axis, right? So if we observe the diagram, it is coming out of this particular diagram, so it is nothing but axial one. But if we observe the electric field, it is along with the radius of this particular structure, so it is called as the radial one. Now to understand the operation of the magnetron tube, we have to observe this particular diagram. Now first of all, let us have a look over this particular diagram. Now depending on the relative strengths of the electric and magnetic field, the electron emitted from cathode and moving towards the anode will traverse through the interaction space. So this is your cathode. So as if we apply a proper operation over here, so the electrons are emitted from here. So from cathode the electrons are emitted. Now all these cavities itself act as a anode cavities. So this particular space, it is called as the anode one. So they will be attracted by this particular anode of this particular diode like structure. So cathode, anode, electrons are emitted from the cathode and attracted by the anode. So that's why we have to consider the operation of this particular magnetron with the help of two conditions. First one is the when magnetic field it is absent, and second one is when magnetic field is present. So let us have a look over the first case, that when there is an absence of magnetic field, so no any magnetic field is applied to the magnetron, the electron travels straight from cathode and it will reach to the anode in a straight direction. So due to the radial electric field force acting on it. So suppose if A is the electron which is present when magnetic field is 0. So because of there is no any magnetic field and only the electric field is present, magnetic field is 0. So at that time whatever the electron applied emitted from this particular cathode, it will take a straight line path. So it is in straight line, it is moved towards the anode side. Now if we increase the magnetic field strength, then there is a tilt of electron takes place, and this particular radial force takes place on this particular electron, and the bending of electron takes place. So if we increase the magnetic field slightly, automatically the electron emitted from here, it will get bent. So it is not now straight line. So suppose B is the electron emitted from the cathode. At that time what we found is that this particular electron B gets bent and it will reach to the anode with some bended path, right? So this is the second case. Now the radius of this path, it is given by R is equal to mv divided by EB. Now if we further increase the magnetic field sufficiently high, then the curvature path it also gets increased. So bending gets increased, and these particular electrons are completely bended. So that's why when zero magnetic field we are observing straight line. When magnetic field we apply some magnetic field, the electron path gets bent. If we further increase the magnetic field, once again the electron path gets curved nature, and whatever the curvature nature you are observing here. Now here you are observing is that at that time this particular electron emitted here from C, it will reach back to the cathode, and it is harmful for your cathode, and it will produce a very much high heat over here. So this particular C electron, it will not reach to the anode, but from anode it will reflect return back towards your cathode side and make some harmful things to your cathode. Now the anode current becomes zero for such a kind of things, because the electron is not reached to the anode, so that's why the current is zero. Now the magnetic field required to return the electron back to the cathode, just grazing the surface of the anode, is called as the critical magnetic field. So the magnetic field present over here, it is called as the critical magnetic field, and because of this particular critical magnetic field, the electron will return back towards your cathode side. So low magnetic field, then some certain magnetic field which gets curvature nature B, and the magnetic field we call as the critical magnetic field, at which the electron will not reach to the anode and get returned back to your cathode side, right? Now if the magnetic field is made larger than the critical field, so if we say that this critical field for magnetic field BC critical field, the electron will reach back to your cathode. But once again if we increase this particular magnetic field above the critical field, the electron experiences a greater rotational force and may return back to the cathode quite faster. So you are observing a D electron with a heavy magnetic field which is greater than that of your critical magnetic field. So at that time this particular electron will a smallest path and suddenly it will return back to your cathode. So all such electron may cause a back heating of the cathode, and this can be avoided by switching of the heater supply after commencement of the oscillation. So this is done to avoid fall in the emitting efficiency of the cathode. So this is the case where we are observing different conditions. So B equal to 0, magnetic field is 0, electron takes straight path. We increase magnetic field with little amount, the B electron takes some curvature path. We take done the magnetic field critical. So critical magnetic, for critical magnetic field, the C electron will as equal to reach the anode, but it will not collected by the anode and return back to the cathode. And if we increase the magnetic field further to the critical field, the electron D take a shortest path and suddenly it will return back to the cathode, and this particular return back cathode generates the heat, and that heat, cathode heat, back heat, it is very much harmful for the operation or the cathode operation. Now in this next lecture we are going to discuss the pi mode of magnetron operation. So just wait for a minute. Yes, in our previous discussion we discussed the operation of the magnetron with absence of RF field. So no any RF field, it is applied across these anode cavities. Now we are further going to discuss the operation of this magnetron when there is a presence of RF field. So here you are observing the RF field. So these are nothing but the lines which are called as the RF, presence of the RF field. So related with anode cavities we are observing the RF field lines over here, right? Now the operation we are discussing that as previously the cathode emits the electron. Now we want to discuss the operation of the cathode with respect to the presence of RF field. So how this particular magnetron works in presence of RF field. So when such a kind of RF field is present, the electron A is seen to be slowed down in the presence of oscillation. So suppose this particular dotted lines indicates the without RF field the movement of the electron. Now when there is a presence of RF field, there is a slowdown of velocity reduction of electron A. So majority times what observed is that the electron gives energy to this particular RF field, so slows down and moves towards this particular towards the anode side. But when this particular electron gives energy to the RF field, we can say that this particular A electron, it is a favored electron because it is responsible for the bunching effect. Now what we observe here, this is particular B electron. When it comes under the presence of RF field, rather than giving energy to the RF field, this particular electron accepts energy from the RF field. So it will its velocity gets increased suddenly, so it will come back to the cathode and creates a back heating. So this B electron, it is called as the unfavored type of electron. So electron giving energy to the RF field, it is favored electron, and electron taking energy from the RF field, it is unfavored electron. Now the favored electrons are always useful for the bunching process, and because of the bunching process, the amplification process itself, it is done. So now here you are observing this particular C electron. So suppose this particular C electron, it will move fastly and try to catch a electron. So that's why there is a bunching process takes place within this particular interaction, and this bunching process, it is applicable for the amplification of the signal. So that's why we can say that hence similarly electron C, which is emitted little later to be correct position, moves faster and tries to catch up the electron A, and electron emitted D will be slowed down to fall back in the step A. So that's why this is a bunching of electron A, C, D, and this particular bunch of electron, it is useful for amplification process. So all electron A, electron C and electron D are are giving their energy to the RF field, so that's why they are going to slow down and creates a bunch within this particular interaction space. But all these are called as the favored electron because they are applicable for the bunching type of application. But the electron B is taking energy from the RF field, so it is unfavored electron because it is create a back heat at the cathode side, and which is harmful for your operation of the magnetron. So this is all about the operation of the magnetron. So in our next lecture we will discuss the next type of some microwave component. So meanwhile we will stop here. So thank you very much.